Okay, so I did my navigation retrofit. However, the center frame was for 99 to 01, which is fairly common. And 95 to 98 center navigation consoles are kind of hard to find. They are out there, typically in the 750 ILs or the 750 models. But I wasn't lucky enough or want to wait for that to come. So in the meantime, I just took the plastic button covers from my other center console and I just kind of wedged the buttons in it. But as you can see, it's not stable. It's just not efficient. So did away with that. I didn't plug the buttons back in. So we're going to remove those, and we're going to actually upgrade them to the 99 to 01 buttons. And really, I've already disassembled this unit, and all it is you already have the circuit board with basically all the buttons, but the connector, depending on vehicle, will or will not have all the wires and the connectors. So my vehicle only has a DSC button and the rear shade button, and I can always upgrade to these later. So I'm only going to use two circuits. The DSC button, really, it's just a toggle switch. It's a momentary switch that plugs into here to turn the DSC button on and off. And then, of course, you have your two extra wires for your nighttime illumination for the button. Now, the rear shade circuit is different. In this circuit, it actually has, the circuit consists of, you got your power input, your positive and your ground, and then you got your reversing polarity for the shade, because the rear shade only has two wires going into the motor, which is that rear shade. And basically what this circuit does is when it gives a certain polarity to those two wires, the shade either goes up or down. And then when the shade ends either at the top or the bottom, the circuit can sense that, I guess, due to extra load when the motor stops. And then it cuts off the power and then reverses the polarity. So when you hit the button again, the polarity is already switched and it causes the shade to go down. The circuit is integrated into this module according to WDS. Got the schematic here. This pretty much shows all options. You got your power input, you got your K-bus there, the power input. You got basically four inputs because you have the heated seats and the comfort seats. There's your EDC circuit, your PDC, sunshade, your DSC, and then you got your driver and passenger side schematics. You got your power, you got your heated signal, and then you got your active signal there, and this is for the passenger side, and you got your sunshade switch there. Okay. They actually labeled those according to the pinouts, also from WDS. The switching, they call this a switching center, which is A169, and the connector here is X1869. So basically, just according to the pinouts, you can pretty much figure out what's what. And so, on this connector, what I'm going to use is pin number 3 for the DSC button, 14, 15, 16, pin number 16 for the DSC button, and the shade button will be, I forgot. Oh yeah, 14 and 15. Which are these first two here. And this is reversing polarity based on, position of the sunshade. And then of course you got your ground and the power. And I don't know if I'm going to need to hook up this high bus wire, or the K bus. And maybe one illumination, which is pin 23, voltage supply terminal R. I'm going to have to play around with this because the purple usually means your illumination. So easy upgrade if you want to go from the older style to the newer style after you've done a navigation retrofit. There's no need to get the older frame, so all you got to do is just get the switching center, blah blah blah, and that'd be a nice upgrade. And you can actually buy the module with all the buttons, with the exception of maybe the SEDC. I don't know where I'd begin to even retrofit that. But the rest of the circuit, if you have the comfort seats, active comfort seats, and the heated seats, those can easily be retrofitted. All you need is just a wiring harness and the seats. Ta-da! Okay, I guess addendum to the pins on this module. It's pin number 2 and pin number 16. So I'm going to press the DSE button. I guess I can do it like this. Not very good video skills here. We're going to press the DSE button on my fluke. It beeps. So anytime you got a closed circuit, okay, so I know that works. And we'll test the shade circuit next. Okay, so just to show you that the circuit does work, DSE light is off. We're going to push the DSE button, okay? Press on, press off. I mean, I guess with the light on, that means DSE is off. DSE system off, on. If you want to kind of see me pressing it at the same time, you can see it. The very top, and me pushing it on the very bottom, just barely getting it in the picture. Okay, next is the shade circuit. Okay, here's what I've done so far. Basically, pin 2, pin 16, pin 3, and let's see, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, pin 2, pin 3, pin 16, and pin 19. Okay. Pin 19 is ground. Pin 16 is your DC. Pin 2 is for your DSC switch also. And pin 3 is your illumination. So basically all you have to do is just take those wires and splice them into the same color-coded wiring for the DSC button, which I've taken off there. You can use either circuit. So basically all it is just a momentary switch. You can plug that in, it'll work. Or I can use the button here. And on the shade, it is pin 14 and 15, and pin 23, and pin, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, which is this main power connector here. Obviously the smaller gauge wire. Again, 14 and 15, you just take the wires and splice them into the same color-coded wires of the old style shade button. The circuit is actually integrated into this switch. The newer units, it's all on the switching center. So now the only exception is this main power. You want to splice that into a suitable power source. So I pulled the climate control unit, unplugged the main connector on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and splice that together, because this is also the power source for the heated seats, so you want to get enough power source for the right current so it doesn't burn the wires. So in my case, all it is for the rear shade, so it's not going to require much current. So even if the wire was the standard wires as all the other ones, just like it is here on the original connector, it'll work fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap into the same gauge wiring just so I have that reserve if I wanted to retrofit the heated seats and the active control seats, or active seats. Okay, so the retrofit is done. I went from the style 95 to 98 individual buttons to the 99 to 01 switching center. So I got one from the yard and actually found one with almost all the buttons except for the PDC and SEDC. I'm going to have to find one with PDC at least, because I would like to retrofit that eventually. But I have the heated seats, the active seats, DSC, and the shade button. So after splicing in all the wires, everything works fine. Push the DSC button, DSC is inactive. Push it again, it's active. So let's see if we can do it this way. Well, battery's dying, so I'm going to hit this button. Battery keeps dying, so I'm going to do it one more time. I'm working under the shade and it's 114 degrees here.